whole sole purpose of education should be to help children discover their passions, help them be themselves, and then give them the skills to do it. They always say 0 to 6 is the golden period. The beautiful part about the body and the mind is the body grows, the mind grows, the mind grows, the body grows. If your child does not have movement, you are actually hampering their cognitive functions. You say a child is very healthy if they are taking initiative.
What kind of impact like a home has on a child's, let's say, mental or health?
Stories are important. Once the parents know what the child needs, the parent can take care of the child. The first stage, which is from 0 to 18 months, is a trust versus mistrust.
So how do we set boundaries for 2 to 4 or let's say 2 to 6?
If you keep your body calm, then your child is going to mirror that and is going to also slowly become calm. The tantrum will pass.
So another question is regarding the screen time. What is your view about screen?
No.
I mean, top 3 things जो parents को worry करना नहीं चाहिए.
You're not ever going to be a perfect parent.
Hi guys, welcome to SuPra Edit Podcast episode 9. So अभी तक हमने जितने एपिसोड किए उनमें हमने फिजिकल हेल्थ के बारे में बात किया, न्यूट्रिशन के बारे में बात किया, स्पिरिचुअलिटी के बारे में बात किया, पर हमने जितनी बात करी हम लोग के बारे में बात करी. इस बार हमने सोचा कि इस बार किसी और तरीके से देखते हैं. कैसे? आपको पता है हर चीज़ की फाउंडेशन कहाँ से स्टार्ट होती है? बचपन से. और वहीं हम भूल जाते हैं कि हेल्थ एंड फिजिकल में वेलबींग, मेंटल वेलबींग सारी हमारी बचपन से स्टार्ट होती है. बड़े होके तो एनवायरनमेंट चेंज होता है, हमारी चीज़ें हमारे अराउंड चेंज होती है, तब हम उसको एक्वायर करते हैं. इसीलिए आज का एपिसोड है हमारे बच्चों पर. हमने सोचा इस बार हम किसी स्पेशल और बहुत ही ऑनर्ड गेस्ट को बुलाते हैं. इस बार हमारी गेस्ट हैं एक फाउंडर, एक डायरेक्टर, एक प्री स्कूल चलाने वाली, एक ग्रेट पर्सन, महिमा कौर. आज वो हमें बताएंगे कि हमारी फाउंडेशन कितनी इम्पॉर्टेंट है हमारे बच्चों के लिए. वो अराउंड 15+ ईयर्स से ये स्कूल चला रहे हैं और उनका जो फ़िलॉसफी है वो बहुत ही ब्यूटीफुल है. वो एक चाइल्ड सेंट्रिक है. एक इन्वायरमेंट वो क्रिएट करने वाला है जहाँ बच्चे को एक कॉन्फिडेंस मिले, क्रिएटिविटी एक्सप्लोर हो और साथ में थोड़े से रिस्क टेकर बनना भी सीखें. कितना हमारे माँ बाप के अंडर शैडो में रहेंगे. उनका और एक फ़िलॉसफी है, शी वॉन्ट्स टू नर्चर एंड एक्चुअली फोकस ऑन इमोशनल, सोशल एंड क्रिएटिव स्किल्स थ्रू नेचर एक्सपीरियंसेस. कुड बी आर्ट, कुड बी स्टोरी टेलिंग, म्यूज़िक. वो खुद एक म्यूज़िशियन है और वो बहुत ही ब्यूटीफुली बच्चों को सिखाते हैं कि कितना इम्पॉर्टेंट है इस क्रिएटिविटी को हमारी लाइफ में इम्बाइब करना. सो इसीलिए आज का एपिसोड बच्चों के ऊपर, जहाँ हम टच अपॉन करेंगे उनके हेल्थ, मेंटल वेलबींग and their physical well-being. So welcome Mahima Kaur. Welcome ma'am. We are really happy that you've decided to come and join us for our podcast episode 9. So before we start, I will really like to know a little bit about you. How did you thought of Dreaming Child? I know you're an engineer and how you decided this is something you want to do, build something around children and take this from so many years you've been doing this. It's more than 15 years you've been into this. So tell me your journey.
Of course. So I think the crux of my journey probably started when I went to college. I was in Cornell where I was doing my engineering, and the reason why I chose engineering is because why many people would choose it, that they're good at math, they're good at science. That's the reason why
Naturally.
I did it naturally. But when I was there, I realized quite soon I wasn't good at it. And when I mean good at it, I meant that it was hard for me to attend classes. When I would be there, I would be quite disinterested. And then I would see people who are so passionate, right, around me. And I would say, man, they actually love what they do. And I think till then, I didn't know that was possible. Because a lot of schooling wasn't about loving what you do or being in the flow or being absorbed or being excited. And I would see people, especially in Cornell, whether it's I had friends who were like playing the piano, or I knew an engineer who was also a light designer for theatre.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I would also meet people there who were doing multiple things.
Wow.
Like in India it's like तुम engineering कर रहे हो, तुम ये करो.
Yeah.
Forget about everything else. है ना? But there I would see somebody playing the piano, somebody singing, at the same time doing a very different field, and I saw these people excelling in 2 different fields. That was very interesting.
Wow.
And just seeing passion in people was very interesting, and that's where my journey started.
How nice.
I wanted to know what makes me happy. That's it. What do I love? What makes my eyes sparkle.
Wow.
That's it. And that's my journey. So there I did different courses. I could. And going from engineering, I finished my engineering degree, but you could take electives. So studying economics. I also tried to get into psychology, did a course.
Oh, nice.
Then eventually I took up dance, which was expressive dance.
How nice.
That was a hit. I loved it. And interestingly, all through school, I used to sing and dance and act.
How nice.
But that was never an option, na? But there, imagine, I love dance, and then I took a theatre class and I lit up.
Wow.
You know, it was effortless. It was as if I'm going with my flow.
I agree.
And then I came back and I started working with 𝗿𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗃, and he used to be working with children. And I didn't know I loved children. I knew I loved theatre, dance and music. But he used to work with children, and I started working with children and there. So, you know, once you start asking yourself that question, what makes you glow, that opportunities come in. And I loved working with children. I used to feel myself. I feel my passions they used to take. They take so beautifully to the creative arts. Then I worked in an NGO where I set up entire creative arts projects where I got in designers from SPA School of Architecture, filmmakers, photographers, and I would get them to volunteer 1 hour a week with Basti children in the Bastis in Vidya and Child NGO. And then those children would choose whether they wanted to do filmmaking, whether they wanted to do interior design. I taught filmmaking to many of them and theatre. We went, in fact, we won awards. We traveled for those awards. It was beautiful. That was another phase of DC. But the whole idea always was that helping children find their passion, giving them a choice. You know, hands-on learning. You know, and so that's how Dreaming Child emerged. It took me so many years. I mean, probably I figured out what I love at 23, 24. I'm lucky, and so I guess people sometimes don't even figure it out till much later.
Definitely.
But I feel the whole sole purpose of education should be to help children discover their passions, help them be themselves, and then give them the skills to do it.
Absolutely,
You know?
ma'am.
So that's Dreaming Child.
That's beautiful. And I guess जब हम आए थे orientation में the first time, I think we were impressed how you spoke about it, and we were like, okay, I know my son is going from past, I think 2 years you've been here.
Absolutely.
I came as a mother toddler program. So we know that philosophy and how my child has evolved into who he was and now who he is. So he loves coming to school. So imagine that thought, like I don't remember, when was the last time you liked going to school?
No. But I remember that we used to hate school. Like हम तो सुबह रोते थे कि नहीं जाना. So and now your child says कि I want to go to school, and he says Saturday is today is holiday, नहीं आज जाना था. So that's the, we also have a dog. We also realize that कि, you know, even the dog should love meeting people, and it's like a child, and child also should be socially available, socially accessible, meet people, should be very, you know, confident. And with our background, we were never, you know, given that kind of avenues. Like you spoke about understanding your creative side of it. And most of the things, we are also very creative people, which we realize much later. Right? And you are giving those
foundation,
the avenues for people to know at such an early stage is commendable.
So on the same concept, so why do you think this age, which is 2 to 4, should be like foundational age for any child to grow into a good human being or evolve as a person, find their passion and believe in themselves, the confidence?
So see, they always say 0 to 6 is the golden period. Already brain development is happening, but the connections are getting formed once the child is out of the womb, right? So brain development is happening at an exponential, very fast speed in the time 0 to 6 years. Say for example, the sensory motor development essentially peaks in the first year. Then the language development peaks in the second year, then the cognitive functions start. So very simply put, the brain is developing at a very fast rate. Whatever you are giving to your child, whatever experiences the child is having is actually forming the architecture and the structure and the foundation of the brain. Right? So say for example, if the child in the first 6 years can learn 6,000 words, minimum, right? Now if a child is not given vocabulary, stories, music, lots of conversations, they're not going to meet that. Imagine if they only have learned 2,000 or 3,000 words, if they've not been given that rich environment. So they are going to be on a weaker footing later. It's as simple as that. Versus if they're given a lot of exposure. The family speaks a lot. Lots of stories are read and told. Lots of music is done. Right? Lots of social interactions are happening. So definitely the child's ability to absorb language, to understand language, to use language is going to be way richer than the child's ability who's not had that exposure. Now you imagine the same child who is going to excel in languages in the future. You have to take that guess. Very simple. Now you similarly, 0 to 6, the mind is expanding, bursting. The body is growing at a super fast speed. The beautiful part about the body and the mind is the body grows, the mind grows. The mind grows, the body grows. The body grows, the mind grows. The mind grows, the body. So if your child does not have movement, you are actually hampering their cognitive functions. Now, if I actually told this to parents and they researched on this, then they realize how important it is that till the child is not 6, don't make them sit for more than 10 minutes. 15 minutes tops. They need to sit for 15 minutes, they need to move. And movement is everything. It's not just, it's exercises. It's running. It's doing play on the swings. It's doing your house chores is movement. Doing your home chores is movement. Singing and dancing is movement. Right? Movement is in life. So the children need to move. Now, if that child who's been given so much exposure in movement, whether it's yoga, whether it's dance, free play on swings, on slides, nature walks, their body is going to get what it needs to grow. Now imagine this child, of course he's going to be excelling in anything to do with motor skills future. So see, the base is being formed. Right? If you look at sensory explorations, you will notice when a child is 1 year, or even 2 years, they really want to explore their world with their senses.
Absolutely.
Mud and this and that, right? They're like scientists. They just want to, especially like starting from 1, you'll see they're all over the place, and even 18 months, right? They want to explore and feel and touch and smell. So whatever they are, why are they doing that? Why are they wanting to touch and feel and smell and even taste? Because they're trying to figure out what this world is. Where am I? And their base of the understanding of the concrete world comes from these sensory experiences. So if you think about it, problem solving, reasoning, understanding how things function, all happen if this base is there to the fullest.
Very rightly said.
Right? So sensory exploration. So one has to know that the child is growing in so many different dimensions, and they need all these experiences to ensure that their growth is happening in the most beautiful way, the most fullest way possible. And so 0 to 6 are really the golden period. It's growth spurts. I mean, they're just learning at an exponential pace. And so richer the exposure, richer the opportunities, more the growth, better the foundation. And then they are ready to inspire learning in the future, you know.
So ma'am, same question to that. So as parents, we also feel that I want to keep my child healthy. Now, when we talk about healthy, is it just like we go to a pediatrician, he'll always say, height is okay, weight is fine, all good, you know, there's nothing mentioned, it's healthy parameters, check, check, check. But when we talk about healthy factor in a child, what would you say would be the right factors I should think of as a parent? That, okay, I know my child is taking care of this, okay, he's running around, he's eating well, he's doing this. So what do you think, what would you suggest a parent like us, that what should be the right healthy development for
if you look at a child and you say, okay, this child is healthy, then what all you're looking at. So of course, it's what you have said. I'm not here, you don't want me to talk about the weight and the height.
Not the physical aspects of it.
Not the physical.
Not the physical.
Okay, so if you look at the cognitive aspect, we always look at children from social, emotional, cognitive, and say physical. If I look at cognitive aspect, you say a child is very healthy if they're taking initiative. Initiative.
That's interesting. I didn't think of that.
Yeah, because and even not doing anything is then also an initiative in a way. You know, a child is choosing to stay still. Some children stay still for even as long as 30 minutes.
Oh yeah, as
if they get the liberty of not being poked, which rarely happens. So somebody will come and be like, "Kuch to kar lo," and I sit with बैठे रहो. But so children letting them take initiative. If they want to be still, they're still. If they're observing, they're observing. If they're curious, they themselves will go. And if they're playing, they themselves will pick. So letting them take initiative and letting them choose their play. So if I see a child taking initiative and choosing their play and doing their thing, you know, if they're not liking something, coming and saying, hey, can you come play with me? Hey, I want that, can you come help me? So that's cognitive health. They're taking initiative. They're choosing their play. They're being able to be with themselves. If I look at social emotional aspect, the child has to feel safe and trust, have trust in the space. How are they going to have trust in the space? If they trust their caretaker, right? They have faith that he or she, they are going to take care of them. They know they're safe, right? And only if they're safe, essentially they'll take initiative.
Correct.
The first is they should feel safe.
Correct.
Second is they're taking initiative.
Yes.
Right? And for physical is to move, a child who looks forward to movement. A child who enjoys movement, finds pleasure and joy in movement. So if you see a child jumping in music, or when they come out, they choose what they want to do outdoors. One will go on the slide, one will want to, you know, go on the swings. So finding pleasure. So that is health, joy is health. You know, having curiosity is health. You know, having the child feeling peace, calm, safe. You know, so all of these are factors that you would want to create in a space for a child. And this is what I look for in our children, you know, or I look for that, okay, if that's not there, then what can I do in the environment or with the teachers? What do I need to change or further train to bring that into balance?
Right. So now that you said 0 to 6 is the formative area, right? But we also has been advised as parents कि आप बच्चे का एक routine रखिए. Routine as in sleep का एक routine रखिए, play time का एक routine रखिए, food. What is your take on it?
ठीक है, I will share a story with you.
Sure.
ठीक है, so can you imagine when children come at 2 years and they're leaving their mother and father for the first time? You've gone through it. And you know those 10 children are into class. And you know that the teacher is scared, the parents are scared, and the children are like, why is this happening to us? Why is this happening to us? अच्छे भले तो हम घर पे So, you know what is the first thing we do? Can you guess?
No.
It is setting a routine.
The
first thing we do to settle those 10 children or the 9 children, we have a teacher and a didi and those 9 children in class, right? And you know that they're slowly getting weaned off gently. The first thing we do is that we establish a routine. And over the years, this routine has been formed not just by us. It's a jugalbandi with the child. We have observed the children and we have slowly kind of understood that to go with their flow, mostly this is the kind of routine which works, right? And so which essentially for young children in school is that they come in and they play, and then there's a music time, and then there is some more play or a story, and then they have their snacks, and then they go outdoors, and then they come in. So the first thing we set for children is a set routine, and the teachers know that that routine has to be followed from beginning to the end without a change for the first 4 to 5 months. In the same way that the routine helps them know what to expect, and that routine helps them calm down, that routine helps them trust. And when that happens, slowly the children start adjusting, they start trusting the space and the teachers.
And they feel comfortable.
Yeah, they feel comfortable.
Is it like reassurance for them, having a routine that they are in a safe, trusted environment?
It is knowing what to expect.
Okay, all right.
So when they know what to expect, they get grounded. It helps them feel trust in the space, and they know what's coming up. So before we even say, they go in that space. So instead of us, if we keep changing the routine, they're going to get uncomfortable.
Correct.
But if it's the same thing before, even we say, they'll go and be there. And so it doesn't mean that after 4 or 5 months we won't change it, or it doesn't mean that one day it'll rain and we can't go out. So that's part of being flexible. But at least we try to have a routine, and it helps them to absolutely settle down. So routine is one thing. The second thing which is really important is like certain rituals. Like when we are doing snack time, there is a certain way in which snack is set up and the way cleaning happens. There's a certain order to it. It's nearly ritualistic. And that really helps them calm down. So even at home, for example, if there is a bath routine, you might notice they love a certain pattern. And it would be really nice to kind of follow that and not break it. So one is routine and the second is those rituals. And that really helps them center. And along with that is helping them do all their chores. It really grounds them. That after, if they have their snack, they clean. After they do painting, they wash. Even at home. After they do XYZ thing, along with them, you put things away. So that is really important. So for young children, if I take this example of school to back home, then definitely their sleep. Their food, their meal times are extremely critical. Their book time, like when you read to your children, that is very, very critical. Their play times are where their bath time. So you need to fix those. I can't even stress on how important it is that parents have a certain routine and as much they stick to them, you know, and then there are open rooms where you are flexible, where you go out or outdoors or you go to the park or you play at home, you know. But there are certain things, and in a way it's like, you know, water. Water flows when there is a boundary. And I always feel like with children, वो boundary चाहिए, वो routine चाहिए, उसके अंदर freedom बड़ा फिर वो flow करेंगे. Nahi to they're just always going to feel that they can't trust you, they can't trust the space, and thus they can't trust what's going to happen to them. And they're never going to be able to relax, you know. So it's very important to have that.
So after only listening to you and ma'am and other teachers from school, so we realized this is something we have to do it at home. And I think that has made our life easier.
Much easier.
Why? Because obviously he stays calm and he knows the routine. My nanny, my helps, knows what's coming next. Also, when we have to travel for work, I know it's his routine is going to be like this. So I check my watch, okay, 3 o'clock, has he slept? So I'll quickly check in with my mom, has he slept? Is everything? So it just makes, I think, everyone so at peace at home as well, that this is the routine being followed, this is what we should do. So I completely agree that it's just keep them more sane and more calmer. So instead of the anxious environment around. So
in fact, but I have a question for you, if I may. Have you ever felt that his routine is the same, or does it sometimes need change, or has the routine always worked for you, or do you feel at a different age
different age, yes.
It changes.
Yes, it changes. But like sleep time, obviously sleep time will increase a little because he wants to now go downstairs and play for a little longer. So, but the basic like macros, as you say, stays as is. Like, you know, get up, breakfast, meal time, bath time, remains as is. But the timings and certain things when he has his friends over or he's going out anywhere, that changes. But we still try to maintain the routine.
Absolutely. Because the reason why we ask is because, again, like if we are also very stuck and inflexible, that doesn't work. And I think that's really beautiful what you've said, that you also need to take the feed off them. And be little flexible in those windows. Sometimes we feel we have to alter our routine and then we say, okay, the class is getting restless, why? And then we might have to tweak it and change it. So it's not just us setting the routine, and sometimes I feel parents get too inflexible on it. So that's also not the... That's also another extreme.
Right?
Like sometimes I can get to the extreme, which he's the more calmer one. He's like, it's okay, let it go.
So it's that balance, you know. It's finding that balance.
It's always good to have some kind of a system or a routine. So we work around that. But we are flexible enough कि आधा घंटा कम सो गया तो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं, 1 घंटा ज्यादा सो गया तो कोई प्रॉब्लम
नहीं। कभी वो सोता भी नहीं, जैसे घर जाके आज चीज लगा मेरा मन नहीं है, he's jumping him, trying to put him to sleep, he's not sleeping. अच्छा चलो छोड़ो उसको, खेलने दो, फिर we'll put him to early bed.
I think taking also the feedback from the children in restructuring the routine is very important, being sensitive to them.
Oh absolutely.
So our next question is that what kind of impact like a home has on a child's, let's say, mental or health perspective?
What kind of impact?
The home environment would have on a child's, let's say, growth or mental or habits. What is the impact there? I'm sure the school does a lot of impact in terms of giving him a safe place, assurance and everything, and thoda matlab application of mind, some creative avenues also. But what is the impact a home can create or has?
See, everything that is in the home, essentially, the child is part of it.
Correct.
And 0 to 6 is when they're absorbing everything from their environment, and you are models, role models in a way. And you, whatever you're modeling, they're picking up, whatever they're seeing, they're absorbing. So home has a paramount impact on the child. Now, if I look at the social emotional aspect, if the child is not safe, then there is no way that the child
Obviously.
can do anything.
Anything, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, if you look, it's very, very important for parents to understand the developmental stage their child's at. When the child is 0 to 18, they are essentially in the sensory motor phase. So sensory motor means mujhe move karna, I want to move,
Right.
and I want to experience the world with my senses, right? So there the parent has to make a safe environment for the child to do that.
Right.
Now if the parent's going to be like, he keeps experimenting, keeps throwing, puts atta in his mouth, obviously they're going to be at constant war. The second the parent understands this is sensory motor phase, I need to give my child a lot of movement, I need to give my child a lot of sensory experiences, he has to make a mess, stories are important. Once the parents know what the child needs,
yeah.
the parent can take care of the child. Now the second thing is that if you look at Erik Erikson's stages of emotional development, the first stage, which is from 0 to 18 months, is a trust versus mistrust. Okay, which means that 0 to 18, the child is developing a sense of trust. And if 0 to 18, he gets that sense of trust, he'll be able to trust people in his future years also. He'll be able to have faith in things and hope in his future years also. It's that important. So actually 0 to 18, you need a lot of interaction, a lot of love. When people say, ज़्यादा आप attention दे रहे हो, ज़्यादा प्यार कर रहे हो, no, आप करो. अब 2 साल तक आप जितना प्यार करो, साथ में सुलाओ, they should feel that trust and faith in you. So that is going to create the foundation in the later years. Right? So if you look at cognitively, it's giving them freedom to explore. If you look at social emotionally, it is being there so they can trust you. They know that you're always there. Their needs are taken care of. At that point, if a child has a tantrum, you have to let him go through it or her go through it and just be there and hold them. Articulating it with them at that point is not going to make any difference. They're too small. But then when you reach 2 years, and you look at 2 to 4 years or 2 to 5 years, their brain goes into a different phase. It's the pre-operational stage. Now the child wants to play, role play. Imaginations would have started. I'm sure you would have noticed 2.5 पे. Imagination शुरू हो रहा है, storytelling narrative शुरू हो रहे हैं, play में complexity सी आ रही है. खुद अब they want to make their own choice कि मैं बताऊंगा. Independent में मुझे काम खुद करने दो.
Every day.
ये सब होता है. And now you are saying my child. Universally, this is a feature seen in most children. Right? All children want to be independent. All children want to do their chores themselves. Now in India, we don't let them. Now see, that's home. Like in Dreaming Child, children do everything.
And that's what I love about it.
है ना, झाड़ू,
Everything. Like in the house also, he comes and says, I want to like put my things. Like yesterday we called something from Blinkit and he came and said, Mama, can I put all those vegetables in the fridge? I was standing at one corner, I was passing, he was putting in the fridge.
Beautiful. This is learning. This is learning.
Every day so I'm eating imaginary pizzas, imaginary burgers.
It's like imaginary pizza we're eating. Today I have cooked noodles. Now this is your noodles. So I'm like, okay.
So I think you said it, you have to encourage. You have to help them in real
So we also do the role playing.
You have to encourage. They need participants. What you are doing.
They also ask, how is it? You know, is it good? I said, it's very good. So we also encourage that way. So, but I understand.
That's what. So 2 to 4, if you don't encourage, if you're not going to help them be independent, then later on, they are going to have shame. They're going to have less faith in themselves. This is again Erik Erikson's theory that in 2 to 4, they are going to ask for independence, and if you don't give it to them, then it's going to impact their social and emotional development later. Right, so this is research. And I see it. We also have curriculum, all these theories and research topics, a lot of it came and I read them later in my career. But initially when it was, my base was Montessori and just observing the kids, I feel like if you observe the kids, they're screaming it out to you. They get irritated when you're helping them. They're doing all these things with their bodies. So they're saying, let me be, let me do it on my own. So see, home plays all that role.
I think because of being nuclear families now, that is also sort of an issue now, challenge. Earlier we had like Masas, your Dada, Nana,
everybody living together in the same house.
Now nuclear families, both husband and wife are working, like giving very few hours with the child and everything. So that also has sort of probably, it's a challenge for the child, So now whenever our child looks at us when we are both free, he just latches on to us as if, you never know when will the free time will come next. So that is also a challenge nowadays. Earlier days, so I remember my father had 7 brothers and 5 sisters, so all their kids was a huge family. So that is where we thought that during initial years, like programs like Mother Toddlers are helpful. With this aspect that there are no kids of his age or around that age to play with now. So I think that really helps him.
And they're part of a whole culture.
Yeah,
Oh,
culture.
yeah. So when we talk about you spoke about 0 to 18, they're still learning. I mean, they're still, like they've just been born, they're still exploring the environment. But how do we set boundaries? Because now we know after 2 years, they start understanding certain things, they start communicating. So how do we set boundaries for 2 to 4, or let's say 2 to 6? How do we manage that?
So it's really important, once you know and you can feel that your child has the ability to understand, can follow, say, one-step directions, So then it's very important to have clarity yourself that what are the boundaries of your home. Every space has a certain boundary. How you want to be spoken to, how you want to speak, how you communicate, right? So it's really important, like say, for example, in our school, if we are doing snack time, then we clean up. If we are in library, we are quiet. If we enter the school, we put our things in a certain way. So expectations are very clear. And what children really demand of parents is that please give us clear expectations, right? That, okay, this is my routine, this is how I function. Order is very important. Things kept in my room in a certain neat way. Having access is very important. Amongst that, how do you expect me to operate? So if parents are clear about rules, about their own rules as a family, and that I think really should be discussed as a unit. Where at least the father and the mother are on the same page, and then you can kind of train your ground staff that this is how you want to operate as a family. These are the rules which you hold close to you. In different spaces, these are the rules, This is how you communicate. And then when some things go wrong, say for example, if a child hits, then of course you address it then, and later also you can have conversations, do stories on it, but then you follow it through. So whatever rules you have, set those boundaries. When the boundaries are, say, tampered with, then address it, communicate with them. They will understand, they have that ability. So for example, in class, if we had a child who wanted to eat from another child's tiffin, and the other child said, मुझे नहीं देना उससे, and she couldn't fathom it, क्योंकि घर पे तो से जो भी मांग के मिलता है, she couldn't fathom it, but she repeated at least 15 times, चीज़ चाहिए, and she kept going on, and I said, नहीं, she doesn't want to give you sweetie, I can't give it to you. Then I took her tiffin and said, see, this is your tiffin. You would not want me to take it from you. She said, ना, ये तो मेरा है. I said, देखो चीज़ उसका है ना. And so that clicked with her. You know what she said? She said, हाँ, मैं ना घर जाके मम्मा को बोलूँगी मुझे कल चीज़ दे देंगे. And so she got it, but it took her that much time, and I let her. I said, I know it's tough, and she kept repeating, and I said, but देखो नहीं, and then eventually she got it. So I didn't let go. So we have to talk to them. We have to communicate with them, and most importantly, we have to be present with them. What are they feeling? Don't hurry that. You can't hurry it and go on to the next. ठीक कर दो. ठीक नहीं होएगी, उसको पहले बोलने दो. उसका सुनो, उसके इमोशन को आप समझो, उसको समझाने की कोशिश करो. So dialogues and treating them sometimes as peers or as buddies, not as babies. Sometimes we don't put enough trust in them. I mean, if you really communicate with them, you'll be amazed that, oh yeah, they got it. We had another child who communicates something that she doesn't want to do by lying down. So someone will say कि वो तो पढ़ती नहीं है, ये नहीं करती, वो नहीं करती, लेटी रहती है मैम. But actually she's saying, I don't want to do this. She's just not learned to say it in words. She's just saying, so then you say that, oh, you don't want to do this. Oh, can you just say that? Okay, then what do you want to do?
Correct.
Then she'll say, oh, yeah, that she got it. So we have to observe the child's behavior, and they are telling us, sometimes it takes us time. I always say, stay with the problem long enough, you'll find the solution. You'll understand your child. Just stay with them, be present.
So ma'am, on the same note, there are times that our children gets very anxious, they get very hyper, and then there is this phase where they're cranky and there's a tantrum, and that's the most difficult phase I think every parent go through. What would you suggest a parent like us or anyone who's watching, that how do we handle this? Like what should we do?
Correct. So sometimes if a child is deeply engaged in something and you interrupt them, you might spiral them into a tantrum. Right? They want to keep doing something, but they got to leave the house. Right? So their preparation is really important. The way you have already planned your day, the child has not. You know you're going to leave at this time. The child doesn't even comprehend time. So preparation, talking about it, giving them some time to adjust. the executive functions are still forming, so you're flexible. They might need 10 minutes to kind of switch over. For you, it's a switch. For them, it's a right. So sometimes understanding your children and being sensitive helps you avoid tantrums. Right. Sometimes when their needs aren't met. Right. Then also there can be a tantrum. And maybe the need can be met to an extent, and maybe it's just a no. Right. Maybe there's no way that your child can have that. And then they go in through a tantrum, and you know you need to hold your ground. Now, if you know that you need to hold your ground, right? That you know that here your child has erred or cannot have what he or she or they want, then you hold your ground. At that point, the child might burst into tears. You know, once there was a child who was going through separation anxiety, and there was no way I could have called a mother in. The mother wasn't available. And so the child had a massive tantrum in front of me. And it lasted for 20 minutes. And it's scary. Parents get very scared and they feel that the child is getting harmed. And they can't hear their own child cry, right? So I feel then they immediately want to find quick fixes. Sometimes if you need to stand your ground, you need to understand that that's going to pass. Your child's social emotional well-being is not getting harmed. Trust me. They are just having a big feeling and they're just expressing it. So while they're expressing it, you keep yourself cool. If you keep your body calm, then your child is going to mirror that and is going to also slowly become calm. The tantrum will pass. It kind of often is like a wave. It kind of goes and it peaks, and then they get tired, they drink water and they calm down, and then you suddenly see them very quiet. The most important thing a parent has to do is stand their ground and be there right next to them. And not get hyper themselves, right? If you're just there saying, I'm here, they go through it. Once they're done, hug them, love them. Maybe talk about that, maybe not even talk about that at that moment. We talk it up later. Talk about it later, right? But it's really important not to do a quick fix and try ki chup ho jaye. You know, I just have to get the child to become quiet or happy. No.
Or agree to whatever he's...
No, absolutely. Absolutely. Not agree. No, hold your ground. Let them go through. Because there are certain things you need to hold your ground on, right? And then let them, they then go through it. And these, of course, it has to be also age appropriate. Like you cannot be holding your ground with an 18-month-old on something, right? So this will probably be at like 3 years. 3 years. Correct. So you have to also know what stage your child is. And also some children develop in different ways. Some children have a harder time with transitions. For some children, executive functions might kind of develop later, because 0 to 6 is the range. So you have to also have an understanding of your child. You can't say, वो मैंने इधर पढ़ा था, उसने 3 साल पे ऐसे हुआ, या मैंने इसकी कहानी सुनी थी. You know, you got to know your child. You got to know where he's at, what his abilities are. And then you got to kind of know what to do at that point, you know. Sometimes even helping the children express their emotions, even discover what they are feeling helps. Like once there was a child going through separation anxiety and he looked sad to me initially. But eventually when I kept trying to talk to him, I realized that he's angry. And so what actually helped that child let go, and this lasted for at least 5 days, was like we filled sponges with water and we threw them. And so for him to throw it kind of would let go of the anger. So I realized he's not sad. He's angry at mama, he's angry at me, why they have left me. And that helped him. And that was a realization for me that he's angry. I said, oh, you're angry? Okay, you're feeling angry. I'm there. Let's take it out. I know it's terrible, but we're going to go through this together. You know, and they go through it. And then, you know, they're absolutely fine when they come out on the other side. And you need to parents need to hold their grounds on certain things when the child is ready for it.
I've seen her when our child goes into that tantrum mode. She does just gives him a hug. And he keeps crying, and after some time he's just like normal. So that is a good way. We don't have to reason it out also.
Exactly. So I bend down at his level. I know he's throwing this tantrum and everything is, I want this, and the emotional drama. I bend down at his level. I just stay there calm. Don't react. You just stay there. And he's like, Mama, ye, wo. And I could react. And then in 5 minutes, I'm like, okay, I'm here. And I just hug him. He's still crying and still like, Mama, ye. And then 5 minutes, he's done.
He's done. And you've let him.
He's over.
You've not hurried him.
Nothing.
You've not hurried his emotions. Now na. You let him go through the whole emotional spiel that he's gone through, and he's centered now.
मैं यहाँ खड़ी हूँ, एक दो बार तो कभी उसने ऐसे मार भी दिया कि mama no leave me
it's fine. And at that point to say that don't hit is not, let him go through bath mein.
Then I later tell him that hitting is not right.
Later.
Although he still doesn't understand that sometimes it's just
stories.
Even
stories work really, really well because they see it from another perspective then, and then it kind of comes back.
So as just last question on this parent bit, one habit we should really imbibe in ourselves as parents, knowing at least we can change that. Although I know we are role models, but sometimes we fail. We completely fail. And like my son would sometimes, I tell him, no, enough of screen time, not happening. He's like, you're watching TV. He's just 3.5, and you're like, okay, I'm looking at my husband, like he's noticing. You telling me don't watch it, but when I enter your room, you're still watching that news or whatever you're doing. You are on TV, and I'm like, okay, that's very true.
And I say this from a way that I think even parents will gain a lot from it. I love children. All children that I've met through my career. I just have this big heart for all the kids. And you know what gives me the most satisfaction? And you know where I've learned the most is literally just being with them, being present. It's life-changing. If I can read 10 articles, but if I spend half an hour with one child and just play with that child now and be present and observe him, why he's doing, what he likes to do, how he's doing it, and I'm just there, I am learning much more. I feel like we are all over. We just be here, be present. If a child is having a bad day, try and understand क्या हुआ, ऐसे वो क्यों कर रहा है, खुद से पूछो, ऐसे वो क्यों कर रहा है, क्या मैंने कुछ गलत किया, क्या दिन के स्ट्रक्चर में कुछ गलत था, was there something wrong in the flow, were my expectations wrong, did I put too much in the day for him or her, is there pressure anywhere, what's happening at home, is she communicating or he communicating or they communicating in that way. You know what I'm trying to say? So I think just having faith in yourself and being there, being present with your kid.
Should make a difference.
I think, even 5 minutes of presence, 10 minutes of presence, 30 minutes of presence, but you're there.
Correct.
That's all they want actually. They are always present.
Oh, Oh, always. I think more than present.
They are there. You know?
They're into there are times I've not been able to go to the washroom because he's standing out and telling me, come out, mama.
Come out. But what I mean is when they're playing or when they're with you, they're in the moment. Their brains are not, so I feel we learn a lot from children and with children when we are present,
Literally there.
So another question is regarding the screen time. What is your view about the screen time?
No
screen time at all?
None
at all? Okay,
zero.
Oh, okay.
Zero. I'm just, if there's one thing you ask me how children have changed in the last 15 years, and I've always taught, right? So I teach. I don't have a principal's room. I don't have a room in school. I just move in spaces. And like say right now, today I've been in say 5 classes, observed the music sessions in all classes. Yesterday I did that for phonics. I like to watch children. I'll tell you one thing which has changed, and I've done that, I've always taught. One thing that has changed over the past 15 years is that I really see that children's restlessness has increased. That's a one change. Their ability to focus in a large group, their ability to concentrate has decreased. Their concentration time, how much they can focus for that period of time has decreased. There's a kind of a restlessness. Right? And so I was concerned. And I was just like, it wasn't like this before. And I spoke to a couple of friends or people in education. I said, are you also feeling this? Do you think that children are getting restless? I'm like, is it just me? And it's not to do with COVID at all. Because it's not like I saw this change suddenly after COVID. I've kind of seen it gradually happen. And so then I read up on articles. And so screen time, there is absolute correlation of children who are exposed to screens to their ability to focus in the present and in the future. I mean, it's absolutely detrimental for the child's cognitive well-being and also for their social emotional well-being. Children who do lots of role play and lots of social play versus children who get exposed to screen time, or even if they're doing role play games on the screen, if you actually measure the empathy, and this is an experiment which neuroscientists did. So in neuroscience, neuroscientists actually kind of measure the waves where you can kind of measure the child's social emotional development, their ability to feel empathy. So what they realized was that the ability to feel empathy is much, much more in a child who actually interacts in social play and role play in real time versus child who is exposed to technology or is exposed to screen time. So even in social emotional development, it's a massive difference. And it has a lot of detrimental impact if a child is exposed to screens. So at school, for instance, children are with us in daycare sometimes from 9 to 5. There's just no screens. It's not a question and they never miss it. There's enough play and there's enough routine and everything happening. And if we do use screens, we do maybe for 5 minutes, like from say 3 to 6 years. And that is for if you project a film on the projector, like say if you're doing a story on a turtle and you want to show them a Ridley turtle and we show them a video or an octopus and how it sprays ink, educational. So those are 3 minutes, 4 minutes, you know, so that's it. But otherwise, why? Stories are best told. Songs are best sung. If you really want an outlet, audio is amazing. So have a nice list of different diverse music, let them listen. You can even try audio stories when they are 4 or 5. They can create their own audio stories. So go audio. Listening is fine. But screen time, no. Absolutely not. Yeah, 0 to 6 is all about hands-on experience. And
I somehow managed to do it for 2.5 years, no screen. I don't know how I did it, but now it's so difficult to stop him.
So what are the difficulties you face?
Sometimes he's just now enjoy watching either it's a small, like a Bluey or a Peppa Pig or something, whatever he likes, he just lands
for entertainment purposes.
For entertainment.
Plus, we also tried this, keeping a limit on the screen hours. Now he's gotten so intelligent, he keeps on pressing the button. Ignore for 15 minutes.
I don't know how he figured it out. I don't know. He put a timer that, okay, if you want to watch, you'll watch it for 10 minutes. He put a timer. He's figured out that how to remove that. And I said, how in the world can you figure that thing out? But it's just so, maybe he sees us and sometimes I feel maybe we are also culprit because we are on phones, we're on TV. So he also says, I also want my iPad. So maybe we are
of course. No, I don't think so. I mean, of course they see you and they'll pick it up from you, but you also drink coffee. And you don't let them drink coffee. Right? There are lots of things that you do which children don't do. Where you say, "Badoenge tab aap piyenge," hai na? They know that. So I think something you just have to be ruthless on. If you actually understood how detrimental the impact is, and say, somebody else also asked me this, and I said, okay, so if your child is watching screen, then don't eliminate it completely, but choose your battles. So wherever you can eliminate it, start eliminating it. And then maybe at a particular time of the day when you need that break, right? And then you want to kind of have that 15 minutes in, once the child is say 4 to 6, then you give them that 15 minute or whatever, but then it has to be just that. Because it is addictive. Right? So it's something like sugar. You have a little bit, you want more. He is going to want more. He doesn't even have his executive functions in place to tell him what's right, what's wrong. So there is no option. And trust me, children, when they know it's a clear no, they're not going to try and move you. The second they know, my parent has a little...
They are trying to negotiate with us.
They are so sharp. They are human.
They know their negotiation.
They are going to just make that wider and wider, and they're going to be just wide, and then they're going to break right through. So I always tell parents, be clear on your yeses and your nos. And when you know, be firm. And if there's a tantrum, just let it be a tantrum. Another tantrum. So after that, it'll consistency. Right?
Then
and that's what absolutely. The second they know that ye to nahi chalega, there's no chance. There's room here. They are immediately going to... I've seen kids literally, in their eyes, I can see a switch. Oh, she's not in green. Let me go play with this. So play it, forget it. It's not happening. Right? And so they're very sharp. So you need to hold your ground. I really think screen times add zero value to the child's development. I think they can be eliminated 100%. If not 100, then you choose. Like I say, the world is not ideal. You figure out your...
midway.
How much leeway, your midway. But then it's just that much, and there's nothing I will become this amazing human being and thus he will. No, there are just certain things which are yes and no for kids, and that is just how it is. We can argue about it and we can say it's unfair, but this it is for you because I know what's best for you, and I know what's best for you at this moment. I am your guardian. This is where you take that role up. Sometimes you're their buddy, and sometimes you are their guardian, and you've got to play that role very firmly, with authority, with clarity. And they want that. Trust me. You know?
Okay, the last question.
Yes.
The last question. Very simple question.
Yeah.
So, top 3 things जो parents को worry करना नहीं चाहिए, which they worry a lot nowadays. Top 2 or 3 things.
First one is perfection.
Oh, good.
You know, sometimes I hear parents.
Okay, one.
Yeah. They've heard these developmental psychologists say that this is how you should communicate with your child, which is good. But then they try and literally replicate that script, which is very unnatural. Be in the moment. Of course, research. I love to read about child psychology. But when I'm with children, I'm my authentic self.
Yeah.
I'm in the moment.
Yeah.
I'm responding to them. Later, I'll reflect
Yeah.
whether what I said was right, whether I do that all the time. But when I'm there, I'm in the moment. I'm authentic. And this drive for perfection, which leads to control, no, you're not ever going to be a perfect parent. I am never going to be a perfect teacher. I can just have the best intent. I can just try and do the best that I can do. I can be reflective. If I'm wrong, I can have the heart to say I'm sorry. But I have to accept that I'm growing with my child.
Absolutely.
And growth is a mix of chaos and order.
Absolutely.
Right.
Second thing, whatever my perceptions are,
Yeah.
they stay with me.
Yeah.
I can't control other people to behave in that way with my children. To have that expectation that my grandmother has to talk like that to him. The didi in the school has to also communicate in this socially intelligent manner, in this emotional. No.
It's not possible.
I'm not saying that you don't fight those battles. You raise them, but it's
Yeah.
very organic and gradual when a community lifts. And if you try and control things, you're going to find a place where you're going to be dissatisfied. Do the best you can. Be authentic. Have control in your areas. And also in some ways accept imperfections.
Absolutely.
And let people breathe.
Absolutely.
I think that's really important because if you don't do that, I do see a lot of anxiety increasing in parents lately, which passes on to the children, which passes on to all the stakeholders.
Absolutely.
So I think we really need to work on our own anxieties and let go a bit. You know, everything will be fine.
Perfect.
I think the second thing is your child really doesn't give for anything materialistic.
Right.
Doesn't care about the shoes, the branded clothes, especially 0 to 6. Trust me.
I agree.
They have no understanding.
No understanding.
So please don't worry about giving them the best shoes and the
I
best
agree.
clothes and the best holidays. They are very happy if you take them to Rishikesh, plot them on sand. sand पे बैठो, ये हमारे पत्थर है, ये हमारा पानी है.
बस
Trust
उसी
me.
में
और
खुश
10
है.
दिन वहाँ
Totally
रहो,
agree,
they'll thank you.
I agree.
They'll thank you कि 10 दिन हमें हिलाया नहीं, हमें मिट्टी दिया, पत्थर दिया, पानी दिया. Seriously,
I
they'll
agree.
thank you. So
I agree.
don't invest in those experiences. 0 to 6, just
They don't care. They don't even know you're going to London, you're going to Mumbai, or you're going to Bangalore.
Right.
They
want
don't
your-
even care.
they
They
don't-
don't even know.
they don't care what they wear. They want they care that okay, can I make a mess in what I'm wearing?
Yeah.
They want your time.
Yeah.
They want your presence.
I agree.
They want experiences.
I agree.
They don't like too much change.
No, they just.
So don't stress yourself on it.
I agree. It's like
Right?
our son loves spending time with both of us.
Yeah.
So during New Year's, we went to a very secluded
Jaipur.
place, Jaipur,
Ah.
which just had tents, like igloo tents, like
Yeah.
very secluded. You go on a hill and you stay there. My son had a blast.
Yeah.
It was just tents. He enjoyed living
Playing
in
with sand.
Yeah.
He was
Loved it.
rolling in the sand, in the mud, and we're shouting, "It's all in your hair, it's all in your clothes." He
But
didn't
he
care.
absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
He loved it. Like for 3 days, we were inside that tent, and he just loved the tent. He's like, "What is this, Mama? What is we living inside a tent?"
Tent, yeah.
So the only happiness we saw, and because it was secluded, there were not too many people. He loved spending time with us. Like 24 hours, we were playing with him only.
Correct.
So it's like, "Mama, when are we going for that same holiday again?" So we figured
Absolutely.
that it is just
Sand and maybe a bonfire in the night was his best experience ever.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
no fancy things, nothing. No
just a
fancy
bonfire.
hotel. Nothing.
Yeah.
Loved it.
So
Yeah, and
I
actually
agree.
coming from that, there shouldn't be a fear of missing out.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
This carnival, I gotta go here. 0 to 6, they're not interested. And most of them are too crowded for them anyways.
Yeah.
And they just, so
Yeah.
And then I think the third thing is have faith in your child's potential. All you can give your child are opportunities and skills.
Yeah.
Opportunities to exercise skills and exposure.
Yeah.
And trust me, let go.
Yeah.
They have potential in them. They're going to grow to be these wonderful, beautiful human beings. Just give them love.
Yeah.
So don't take pressure.
Yeah.
That, what's he going to do in life? How is he going to grow? Which school, which college? Everything will work
Fall
out.
into place, yeah.
What really actually matters is goes back to what I started from.
Yeah.
What makes your child happy?
I agree.
That's why in Dreaming Child, we give them exposure to gardening, art, cooking. Why? Because we are also showing them the gifts of life. Life is beautiful. In all these gifts, what makes you glow the most? You can see it. Some children love math. Some children are obsessed with the garden. You can then give them more of that. Give them what they want. So let them discover themselves. And if they know what makes their heart happy, if they can be themselves and get the skills to accomplish their passions and dreams, that's it. So I think parents just need to relax, not stress so much about education, ki school mein, which school, which not school. Of course it matters how much can you control anyways, right? So just kind of,
chill and figure it out.
It'll fall into place. Your child is going to grow,
Yeah.
and he or she or they are going to find their own potential. They have that potential in them. It's going to reveal itself through the years. The potential is there. It's going to reveal itself. And you don't know when what will reveal. Something will reveal when they're 18 years. Something will reveal when they're 25. Something will happen at 35. Something at 50.
Yeah.
They're still your babies, even then.
I agree.
And you can't control it. And they have their own journeys. So have faith in their potential.
Yeah.
Don't control it or don't try to make them succeed. They will. Just be there behind them. Be honest, have honest conversations. And they're going to grow to be themselves. So that's
Makes
it.
sense.
Just last question before we close. So Dreaming Child follows a certain philosophy for preschool, and I see that it's a little different in comparison to a lot of other preschools, and precisely that was the reason I put my child into this. So what is your philosophy? What is it that you feel is important you can impart in your child when it comes to Dreaming Child?
Correct. So I think the key thing about Dreaming Child is that as an institute, it's alive. It's alive, and the reason why I say it's alive is because we constantly question what we are teaching. We constantly question how we are teaching. We constantly observe and see what the kids are taking, where the kids are at, what more needs to be brought in. At the same time, we research and see different philosophies across the world. There might be old philosophers and educators like Montessori, Piaget, 𝗿𝗵𝗀𝗶𝗃. At the same time, there is an entire realm where neuroscience is actually overlapping with pedagogy. And they are really understanding now in today's time how the brain learns. And that fascinates me. And I love to take that knowledge to my teachers, for sure. For example, the science of reading. Now they've actually mapped out how the children learn how to read, what is happening in the brain, and based on that, how teaching methodology should be. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So an institute needs to take the roots, the old, and the new, and the current generation, and put it together to create an education system for the present. Now say, for instance, if I am a pure Montessori or a pure Reggio, what happens is that you are pure in that field, but you have to also understand that that was created by a particular person or a group of people in that time. They probably didn't have the exposure that we have now. And if you become too attached to do things a certain way, that is same in a way of just, say, blindly following it. For example, in Montessori, I love the philosophy, but if you look at the practical life aspect, it's something that I never took in to Dreaming Child, the way it's done in Montessori, where it's very controlled. In Dreaming Child, if you know from 15 months, 15 months the child is cutting using a butter knife, they're gardening, they're mopping, they're dusting, they're cleaning, and they're picking up their chalkies. So it didn't make sense to me to put it in a limited way. I just brought it in the culture, and it's worked out beautifully for us because I could question, because I was also the owner, probably. It wasn't a Montessori franchise. Why should I be limited when something does not make sense to me? So it's a very scientific space. It's a space where we are not insecure to question ourselves or others to question us what we are doing. We have to understand that all systems are ever evolving, and the second we say this is it, the growth has stopped. If you look at the Reggio curriculum and how it's so creative, the way it opens up the child's mind to divergent thinking, it's wonderful. Why should that not be incorporated? If you look at Montessori and the way they do mathematical thinking with their didactic material, like big to small, long to short, heavy to light, very interesting material. 100% that can be used and must be used along with, say, puzzles. At the same time, am I not going to give children blocks for their creativity?
Yeah.
For them to figure out, oh, this block is big or small. They're learning themselves. Where will it go? What am I creating? Storytelling, narratives. You have to see children create with blocks. They start at 2 years. We don't interrupt them. They use them as they want to, and you have to see the structures that are being created by the time they're 3 and 4 and 5, right? And that's unguided. Both are important. In fact, I would say them exploring the material might be more important than skill building, because that will happen. Absolutely. So it's all hand in hand. If you look at Waldorf, they have this beautiful concept कि जो भी आप काम कर रहे हो बच्चों को इन्वॉल्व करा के कराओ. बड़ी इस दड़ी को फोल्ड करना है, टीचर कर रही है, सबको बुलाओ. यहाँ पे पुली लगाना है, बच्चों को भी बुलाओ. गार्डनिंग का मैदान खड़ा रेडी करना है, सॉइल को रेडी करना है. माली भैया कर रहे हैं, लेकिन आप माली को देखो माली कैसे कर रहा है. वेरी नाइस. Right? So I feel that every single school has so many things which are beautiful, and I also think we have to respectfully say that no, this does not make sense for me in my context with my children. Might make sense for you with no disrespect. And so I think that currently education systems have to be ever evolving. I think we have to be ever questioning, holding the past, looking in the future with neuroscience at the center, with the child at the center. Because neuroscience is helping us understand children the way we have never understood. It's helping us understand how our brains are growing the way we have never understood. And that has to be now taken into account. So actually, I think we are in the most exciting time in education. And I really think we have to be open to change, open to growth, and open to dialogue, and not get attached or insecure about our viewpoints. We say, you know what, we are growing. You know what, I don't have all the answers. But I'm curious to figure it out. Absolutely. You know, so that's it.
Wow.
That's lovely. And I think great insights, ma'am.
Thank
we
you.
can't
Pleasure.
thank you enough for being here.
Thank you for having me.
You know, it's privileged.
If I may say, it's my first podcast.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
nice.
thank you. So
Pleasure.
yeah, I'm
Always
so busy
nice.
with the children. I usually don't find the time.
I know.
But thank you for
Pleasure.
putting this together, and it's wonderful. It has been so easy to talk to them.
Thank you for joining us, and we'll be in touch, and probably we'll have more of these sessions about
Definitely.
children. Great.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, guys. So आज का session I think बहुत ही amazing था. जैसे मैंने intro में भी बोला that अभी तक हम बहुत सारी चीज़ों के बारे में बात करते आ रहे थे, but हमें foundation जो है, जो सबसे important है, जो childhood है, जहाँ से हमारा health, mental, physical, emotional, social well-being बनता है, वो आज हमने सब उसके बारे में बात किया.
स्पेशली आई थिंक फॉर 0 to 6 हमने बहुत कवर किया. हमने ये भी कवर किया कि वाई सिस्टम, बच्चे के लिए स्लीप टाइम, एक मील टाइम और प्ले टाइम का एक रूटीन सेट करने से दैट गिव्स अ रीअश्योरेंस टू द किड्स.
Yes. And parents, you don't have to be hard on yourself. I know हम बहुत guilty feel करते हैं और बहुत perfection ढूंढते हैं, but जैसे मैम ने कहा, हम कोई perfect नहीं है. हमें अपना बेस्ट इंटेंट रखना चाहिए. हम अपना बेस्ट कर रहे हैं अपने बच्चों के लिए, बस उतना थॉट रखेंगे तो शायद हम थोड़े हार्ड ऑन आवरसेल्व्स कम रहेंगे और गिल्ट कम रहेगा. तो प्लीज़ इसको आप ऐसे देखिए कि हम अपने बच्चे के लिए सबसे बेस्ट ही करेंगे. सो जस्ट ऑन दैट नोट, वी विल रियली लाइक ऑल ऑफ यू टू like, share and comment. Hit the bell button, it's very important. और प्लीज़ हमारे कमेंट्स में छोड़िए अगर आपको कहीं पे भी लगता है कि कोई भी ऐसे गेस्ट हैं जिनको आप सुनना चाहते हैं, हम ज़रूर लेके आएंगे. एंड मेक श्योर दैट यू कीप फॉलोइंग us and you keep watching us. We'll come back with another episode soon. For now, signing off, SuPra